Dear survivor, my name is Kirsi Mary, and today I would like to share you about Jim's story. But before we go into the story, I want to talk about Jim a little bit. Jim is 49 years old, and today, for the first time in many years, he sleeps without headphones beside his bed. No live streams, no whispers in the dark, no endless night escaping reality through a screen. Only silence, real silence. And strangely, it no longer scares him. Jim asked me to share his story because he hopes maybe another man or woman will recognize themselves before it is too late. Years ago, Jim had a really real life many lonely people secretly dream about. A loyal wife named Amanda, a shared home, a future built together through hard years. Amanda was not perfect, she was real. She worked hard every day, helped pay the house loan, stayed loyal during difficult times, supported Jim emotionally when struggling with the work, aging and stress. She loved him honestly. But Jim slowly became addicted to fantasy. At first it looked harmless, SMR videos, live streams, online comfort after stressful days. And the whisperer relaxed him. The stream smiled warmly. The fantasy world felt easier than reality. And without realizing it, Jim emotionally left his marriage long before Amanda psychically left the house. He stopped being present, stopped listening deeply, and stopped noticing her exhaustion, her loneliness, and her sadness. But Amanda didn't give up. Amanda kept trying. But fantasy always asks less from you than real love. Real love requires attention, effort, presence, communication, shared pain, shared responsibility. Fantasy only asks you to keep watching and paying for it. Jim says the hardest truth he ever accepted was this: the women online were not the problem, my addiction to escape was. After Amanda left, Jim completely broke emotionally. The house became silent, no footstep upstairs, no coffee in the morning, and no real human warmth. Only screens. Only artificial comfort. And for the first time in his life, Jim finally admitted something terrifying. And he said, I was addicted, not to a person, to emotional escape, to fantasy, to avoiding reality, aging, loneliness, responsibility, and emotional pain. Jim eventually sought professional help. Therapy was difficult at first, become reality feels painful after years of escape. But slowly, he began understanding himself. With loneliness consumed him, why fantasy becomes safer than intimacy, why he disconnected emotionally, and why real relationships require vulnerability. Healing did not magically fix everything, and Amanda never came back. And Jim accepts that now. He says losing her is a pain he will carry forever. But today, he no longer blames women, relationships, or the world. Instead, he tells men something important. A real woman who loves you is worth more than every fantasy online. Do not realize it only after she's gone. Jim now spends more time outside. He reconnects with old friends slowly. He sleeps normal again. And he started therapy, walking, reading, and rebuilding a real life step by step. Some nights are still lonely, but now he faces reality instead of escaping it. And before sharing his story, Jim said one final thing. And this final thing is for you who listen it. If you are losing yourself inside fantasy, please wake up before the person who truly loves you stops waiting for you to come back. And this is the story about Jim and Amanda. Jim was 49 years old when Amanda stopped recognizing the man she once loved. Not because he changed psychically, because he disappeared emotionally. Years earlier, they were inseparable. Amanda loved simple things, morning coffee together, road trips in silence, fixing the garden on warm evenings, laughing over sheep, takeout after walk. She was loyal through every hard year. When Jim lost his job for a while, Amanda worked extra shifts without complaining. When bills became difficult, she helped carry everything beside him. When he felt insecure about aging, she still looked at him like he mattered. Real love and quiet love. The kind many people only understand after losing it. But somewhere turning the last few years, Jim slowly escaped into the internet. It started harmlessly, videos at night, live streams after work, and SMRs to relax. Amanda even smiled about it at first, and she said, you and your weird whisper videos. She joked once. Jim laughed, but slowly the whisper became more important than reality. Every night he sat in darkness, wearing headphones while Amanda fell asleep alone. The only woman always looked perfect. Soft voice, beautiful lighting, endless attention, and comforting words. No stress, no responsibility, no aging, and no real life. Amanda noticed changes first. Jim stopped listening during conversations, stopped touching her, stopped asking how her day went, and stopped laughing with her. But online, he smiled. One streamer especially consumed him, a woman named Celeste. She whispered directly into the camera. You deserve peace. I'm here for you. You are not alone tonight. Thousands watched her, but lonely people hear fantasy differently. Jim began staying awake until sunrise just to watch her streams. He donated money secretly. Amanda didn't know about that first. He waited all day for notification from someone who did not truly know him, who did not truly care about him. Meanwhile, Amanda carried real life alone. Work, bills, house responsibilities, and emotional loneliness. Yet she still stayed loyal. Because she hoped her husband would come back emotionally. One rainy evening, Amanda came home exhausted from work, carrying groceries through cold winter. She entered quietly to the house. Jim sat in the front of the computer again, wearing headphones. Blue screen light covered his face, while another woman whispered comfort into his ears. Amanda stood silently behind him for almost a minute before speaking. Jim. He barely looked away from the screen. What? Amanda's voice cracked slightly. I miss my husband, she said. Those words should have broken him immediately. But addiction changes people. You're overreacting, he muttered. Amanda looked at the glowing monitor, then back at him, and softly asked, when was the last time you touched me without looking annoyed? And Jim said nothing, because he did not remember. That night, Amanda cried quietly in the bedroom, so he would not hear. But Jim still stayed downstairs listening to another woman whisper fake intimacy through a microphone. Months passed. Their marriage became colder. Amanda stopped asking him to come to bed, stopped trying to start conversations, and stopped fighting. And sometimes silence is the final stage before goodbye. Then came the night that shattered everything. Jim was watching another live stream from Celeste when her microphone accidentally stayed on turning a break. She laughed with someone off camera and said, "These lonely older guys become attached so easy." More laughter followed. Just smile, whisper, and they stay forever. Jim felt his stomach twist. For the first time, the illusion cracked completely. Suddenly, everything looked fake. The smiles, the eye contact, the comforting words, the fake intimacy sold through a screen. And then something even worse hit him. Upstairs was a real woman who had spent years loving him honestly, while he emotionally abandoned her for fantasy. Jim slowly removed his headphone. The room felt empty, cold, dead. He walked upstairs quietly. Amanda's side of the closet was half empty. On the bed sat a folded letter. His hands shook opening it. Jim, I loved you through every difficult year. I stayed loyal. I stayed patient. I stayed real. But I cannot complete with fantasy anymore. The saddest part is not that you watched them. It is that you stopped seeing me. I hope someday you understand that real love was already sitting beside you. Goodbye, Amanda. Jim collapsed onto the edge of the bed, staring at the letter while the empty house echoes around him. Outside, Rain trapped softly against the windows. Downstairs, the computer still glowed in darkness. Another live stream had already started. Another lonely audience listening to whisper, pretending to be love. But now, Jim understood the truth too late. Fantasy feels easier because it asks nothing from you. Real love requires presence, effort, attention, and emotional courage. Amanda never wanted perfection. She only wanted her husband back. And by the time Jim finally woke up from the illusion, the real woman who loved him was already gone and forever. I hope this story helped you somehow. And always, if you feel that this story is about you too, or you are addicted, find help also from professional. Because Jim understood it. He lost very much in his life, and he was looking for help from professional. Thanks for listening. Much love to everyone, and be safe, survivor.